In the morning when I'm driving, I really come alive when I listen to my Ronnie, I listen to my Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie Q. In the morning while I'm driving, Ronnie, I really come alive when it's time for Ronnie Q. I listen to my Ronnie, Ronnie. I listen to my Ronnie. It's time for Ronnie Q. Take a seat and go meet Ronnie. Sweet, 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 sweet Ronnie. No day complete without my Ronnie. She can't be beat. Sweet, sweet Ronnie.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Hello, Queen Diva. Thank you for dropping down. I hope you have had a great week. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I want to sing about it. Okay, let me remove this emperor who has no clothes. Hey, Renee. Grand Rising to you as well. I hope you guys are ready for the weekend. Queen Diva, I haven't seen T Velocity come up in my notifications. Have I missed a live? YouTube, thanks. And please hit the like button on your way in. I would greatly appreciate that. Queen Diva probably getting ready or doing something. She just can't be in here all typing, all willy-nilly. Let me see. So did you guys... What happened yesterday? What happened yesterday that I would want to talk about? A lot. Let me see. Somebody just sent me something. Oh, okay. Okay, so I got a couple of things that I saw and I wanted to talk to you guys about to see if you've heard about these things. Where has anybody seen that? Oh, she went live the other day. I figured it was something. Okay, have anybody seen Amy Gleason? Where is Amy? Where's Amy? Y'all don't know who Amy is? Where is Amy? Did she get knocked off in Mexico? I know she was on a 2-week vacation in Mexico when it was announced that it was her and not Elon Musk who was over Doge. So Doge sat down for an interview on Fox News with Brett Baer last night, and Amy was nowhere around. Have you have you guys seen Amy? I think somebody better put out an APB out for Amy. Hey, Miss Vegas, how you doing? Good to see you. Okay, so let's talk about us. It's just like this stuff is just all over the place. Did you guys watch Doge? I didn't watch it on Fox. I saw a couple of highlights of it because I don't go to Fox. I don't support them. Oh, she's somewhere eating donuts. Now, I told you that Elon Musk was trying to get access to all of our, what was it, IRS information. And he found a reach around, no pun intended. He found a reach around by going through HHS. And it was at that moment that we realized that Amy Gleason does not work for Doge. She works for HHS. Did y'all know that? Yeah, because I told y'all that. See, y'all be in on the loop. See, I'll be like looking up articles and all types of carrying on. Oh, yeah, so Amy works for HHS. But I'm wondering, was Amy a casualty of Doge herself now? Because HHS is firing a whole lot of people. I think they said they're going to keep 10% of their staff, and they're going to rearrange HHS. And with this 10% of their staff, they're just eliminating duplicate positions, and they still expect to give the same service with 10% of their staff. How many thousand? There 10,000 people. I think it's 10,000 people. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see how those 100 people continue to give the same type of service. Hey, Truth and Reason, Grand Rising, Madison, Jill's Comfort Zone. It is so good to see you. Don't forget tomorrow, meet Jill's Comfort Zone on her crafting channel or her regular channel. The crafting channel for sure. She's going to be doing. We're going to be doing a crafting project. Let me find her link. I'll drop it in the chat. If you're not subscribed to her crafting channel, why not? Meet us over there. We're going to be crafting and talking. Oh, here it is. I have it. At 5, what time? Tell them again. I think it's 5:30 p.m. Okay, I'm going to drop the link for her channel right here. Unfortunately, today I have no. Hey, Lee, brand new, Grand Rising. Here's the link to Jill's Comfort Zone channel. Unfortunately, I do not have any links in my description box as of yet. I wasn't going to come live today. Obviously, I'm a whole hour off. I told you guys yesterday that I may not come live today. But then I was like, well, shoot, you may as well go live now. Hey, Brown Sugar, Grand Rising. And it was about 4:28 or 38 or something like that. So I had to get a couple. Okay, Jill, it will be on Jill's crafting channel tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. come on over and go look on her community wall and see what we're crafting tomorrow. It's always good fun. If you're not doing anything, meet us over there. Hey, detached myself, how you doing? Grand Rising. Okay, so we were on Where's Amy Gleason? Amy Gleason does not work for Doge, come to find out, because Amy Gleason was not at the Doge interview that, I mean, we never had heard of her until a court ruling came out where they wanted Doge to answer some questions. Then all of a sudden, Doge was not, hey, Jay Parrish, Doge was not. Run by Elon Musk. It was run by some lady named Amy Gleason, who just happened to be on a 2-week vacation to Mexico. But we have not seen. Did they? That we have not seen Amy Gleason at all. We have not seen her in the flesh at all. Not nada, nothing. Okay, so then. They did a court ruling and they wanted some information about Elon Musk and why he was going in secured databases that he didn't have any reason going into. So that must have spooked him. And then all of a sudden, he wasn't the head of Doge. But then after they put this lady's name out here, who we've never seen walk in real life. Elon Musk went right on back representing Doge and all this dumb shit that he's doing. I mean, okay. So, how did it come about? Oh, Elon Musk was trying to get into the IRS databases, and they were giving him a hard time, not letting him do it. But then he he did a go around to get to the information that he wanted via the IRS by going through Health and Human Services, which is RFK Jr. It's over. So when he went in under the guise of he wanted to look for waste, fraud, and abuse in the child support system. How could there be any waste child? How could there be any waste, fraud, or abuse in the child support system? These people are paying their children. I mean, the least you could find, the most you could find was somebody was behind on the child support. Where would that if there was something wrong with payments in child support, how would that affect the government and make the government lose money? So he just wanted to go in there because you know why? Because all of the information that he was looking for that he could have found in the IRS, he could find that same information by going and in HHS, Health and Human Services. And guess who works at Health and Human Services? Amy works at Health and Human Services. So I'm thinking that's where the whole situation about Amy's name being brought up. Okay, so what are you saying, Ronnie Q? Are you saying that this lady from Health and Human Services did Elon a solid and let him in and let him get what he wanted? Yeah, I'm saying that. That's what I think happened. Because nobody told us that she worked for Health and Human Services until it came out later. And I showed you guys the article. Okay, so why would I think somebody would do that? Now he's over in Social Security. So first they were going to close all the phone lines and you weren't going to be able to call, and they're closing a whole lot of field offices. So you were going to have to go in or do it on the computer, and there was what type of government organization has no phone lines? A government organization that service the public, and they service the public, issuing them their monthly money. And you mean who doesn't have a phone number. But that's what he was going to do. So then he decided he wasn't going to do that. He decided that he was going to just make it fire a whole lot of people and make people hold be on hold for between 5 and 8 hours trying to get their business taken care of because it's so few people to answer the phone, and he was going to still close down offices, and then if there was something that you needed, they were going to make appointments over the phone for you. And the appointments, since there are so few people, were going to be so far out, they may cancel them. You may get to your appointment, like the guy who found out that they had him listed as dead. He went and he had an appointment and he still was there waiting in line for 8 hours. Yeah. Okay. So this is government efficiency. This is the so intelligent person that they are deferring to. All the Republicans, 45, 47 is deferring to. So he can every weekend spend tens of millions of dollars every weekend to go play golf at that tacky ass West Palm Beach place or in New Jersey. This is what's going on. Okay, okay. So now, what is the muskrat doing over there? So when people got all up in arms about, he said that people are going to have to verify who they are, and they're going to have to go into a Social Security office. Then all these old people were like, "What the fuck you talking about? I live in a rural state. To get to the next office, because you closing the one in our town, is I'm gonna have to drive 2 or 3 hours one way to find the next field office." So they yesterday they said that they were gonna put that on hold. It was supposed to go into effect April 1st, and I read yesterday that they were gonna put it on hold until April 12th. Why? Because they don't even have the system up to do it. I thought that this was a genius. I thought that he was working in the IT department. I thought that all of these muskrats, we know they are genius hackers. We know they can go in and get information. But you mean to tell me that you announced a program that you were going to have people go to, old people, disabled people to go to on the 1st of April, and you don't even have a program set up to even take care of them? So this is who we have over government efficiency. Make it make sense. Okay. So what is he doing over there? So I don't know if you guys know the old Social Security commissioner. Is it a commissioner? I think it's I think. The old head, I think it is the commissioner of Social Security. She wind up quitting her job because Elon Musk had previously came over there to her job, and he wanted information that she felt that he had no right to look at, such as people's health records, their doctors, who their bank accounts, where they live, where their doctors lived, all types of shit, all types of information. And she didn't want to give it up to him, and they kind of got in a kind of pushing match, if I remember correctly, and I think it's the same woman. They hauled her out of her office, physically hauled her out of her office, and she resigned. So there is an interim chair, and he was a mid-level employee. Now this lady was running the whole Social Security system, and he was a mid-level employee. And guess what this mid-level employee is doing now? He is the interim Social Security Commissioner. So I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, they had a confirmation hearing for the person who has been nominated for the job, but they still have to vote on him and blah, 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 blah. So you may wonder, what did a mid-level person, surely, it was more people above him who were qualified to stand in until they get a confirmation for the new. What did he have to do to get that job? Let's see what he had to do he chose to do to get that job. Okay, so where is my article? I got it right here. I got it right here somewhere. I have it right here. Oh, here it is. Okay, let me share my page with you guys. Did you guys hear about any of all of this? Okay, let's share the page. And let's see what he did to get the job. He's just filling in till they get a permanent person. How a mid-level staffer rose to oversee the Social Security Administration within days. Let's check this out. This article came out February 22nd. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's see what. Let me tell you about this article. I just found it really, really disgusting. Okay. Last week, Leland Dudek, a mid-level career employee at the Social Security Administration, posted on LinkedIn that he was placed on administrative leave for cooperating with Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency and asked for help finding another job. Days later, courtesy of President Donald Trump, he had one. Social Security acting commissioner. How would that? What happened? Okay. He replaced Michelle King, an agency staffer with decades of experience who resigned last weekend after tussling with DOGE representatives over access to Social Security sensitive records. She is one of several high-ranking career officials across the federal government who have departed over concerns about DOGE staffers' potential access to federal databases with Americans' private information, which has also sparked lawsuits. By contrast, what is Dudek? Okay. By contrast, Dudek, who joined Social Security in 2009 and worked in its anti-fraud office, acknowledged in the now deleted LinkedIn post that he had worked with DOGE and that he was under investigation. I confess, I helped DOGE understand SSA. I mailed myself publicly accessible documents and explained them to DOGE, he wrote in the post, which CNN viewed. I confess, I moved contractor money around to add data science resource to my anti-fraud team to examine direct deposit fraud. I confess, I bullied agency executives, shared executive contact information, and circumvented the chain of command to connect DOGE with the people who will get stuff done, he posted. In a separate job seeking post, Dudek told potential new employers, I can be your Sherpa, helping you navigate government and in creating lasting relationships that get to the word yes. He noted that he was looking for roles in fraud and identity management. So they're over there looking for waste, fraud, and abuse, and they acquire it through fraud and abuse. Okay, let me finish it. As well as cybersecurity. He wants to be in cybersecurity, and he can't be trusted with private information. Let's continue. But he now has the job that the lady who was trying to protect the private information got into a whole tussle and thrown out of her office physically, allegedly. Okay. While Trump's nominee to lead the agency, Frank Biasco, awaits Senate confirmation, Dudek temporarily inherit the responsibility of overseeing the monthly benefits that more than 70 million retirees, disabled workers, survivors, and dependents rely on. The Social Security Administration did not return a request for comment. Dudek's promotion appears to be another striking example of DOGE influence over the federal government as Trump has empowered Musk. The tech billionaire celebrated Dudek's elevation Wednesday, saying, promote good players, exit bad players. That's the right thing to do. So that's what Elon Musk said when somebody who was not qualified was got this position because he snuck and gave him information that he was not supposed to give him. Okay, amazingly, Leland was fired by Social Security Administration upper management for helping DOGE find taxpayer savings. Can you believe that? Musk posted on X. Thanks, President Trump. Leland was brought back right away, and now he is upper management. Oh, that's how you get ahead. Way to get ahead. Well, if he was so great, maybe y'all should have nominated him. A DOGE infiltration of the federal agency has raised concern among lawmakers that it is circumventing the legislative process and government checks and balances. Dudek elevation prompt Oregon Senator Ron Wyden, the ranking member of the Senate Finance Committee, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and 3 other Democrat senators to send the acting commissioner a letter asking what information he provided to DOGE and what access its representatives have received. The senators also expressed a concern about Dudek having no executive experience and about the reports that he had been put on administrative leave pending an investigation into his sharing sensitive information with DOGE. DOGE gained access to Social Security's data, which contains reams of personal information on hundreds of millions of Americans, has also raised red flags among experts and consumer advocates. Okay. The information collected surely held by the Social Security Administration is highly sensitive, Nancy Altman, president of Social Security Works, said in a statement earlier this year. SSA has data on everyone who has a Social Security number, which is virtually all Americans, everyone who has Medicare, and every low-income American who has applied for Social Security. Social Security's mean-tested companion program there's a mean test companion program called supplemental security income. I've never heard of that. Dudek sought to allay some concerns on Wednesday, saying in a statement, DOGE personnel cannot make changes. So we're supposed to believe you. DOGE personnel cannot make changes to the agency system, benefit payments or other information. They only have read access. How many times we heard that? How many times have we heard that they only have read access? Hackers only have read access because you're not even an executive. You are a mid-level cyber security analyst. Now you guaranteeing us that now that they put your unfit ass, why is it they are so happy to elevate these people who are not fit for these positions to these high positions? Because the Doge can come in and do what they want to. That's why because or they're going to be sycophants and do whatever 45 47 tell them. Okay, let me continue. They only have read access. He also noted that Doge team cannot access data related to a court-ordered temporary restraining order, current or future. He also aimed to set the record straight on whether Social Security has been sending checks to dead people, which Trump and Musk have both recently implied in recent days. Dudek noted that there are people older than 100 who do not have a date of death associated with their record, but they are not necessarily receiving benefits. What the fuck that mean? But they are not necessarily. So that means they could be. See, you need. So if somebody who had the real experience in the Social Security at the level that he is, and he is showing doubt that they could be. When you say they are not necessarily receiving benefits, that means that they maybe they could be, but not necessarily. I mean, that's what that means. Stressing the importance of transparency, Dudek said he called the agency's office of the inspector general to give them the opportunity to observe and review all activities, including his own actions, before or after you got the job. Did you call them when you were sneaking around and moving money around to be able to finance and access stuff that you were given? Is that when you called the inspector general? No, I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it wasn't then that you called him, because you was fired for doing it. And then Trump brought you back because he was proud of you for doing it. Motherfucking criminals. Motherfucking criminals. Now, here's my point. It seems like they access everyone who has a Social Security number, personal information illegally. There has been a court order that has come down after this date that says that it seems like Musk is going on a fishing expedition, and he has barred him from being in Social Security. But this is after all this has already happened. See, the guy Ledick already gave him the information prior, and that's why he got his job back and was promoted in this temporary position. So let's be clear. Even though that there is a court order, the court order came after this motherfucker gave him all of our information. So where is our right to privacy? People can be it's my understanding that if they have no good reason for looking at our information that it's in federal databases, they can be sued. I'm just saying. Let me see where else. Okay, focusing on the. Oh, well, I think stressing the importance of Okay, he called the Office of Inspector General to give them the opportunity to oversee and review the activities, including his own action. He also invited Independent Government Accountability Office to observe the agency's operation. You ain't called. Okay. The acting commissioner is already taking steps to overhaul the agency in line with Trump and Musk's focus on rooting out fraud and waste in the federal government. Well, here's what I have to say about that. While he was doing all that he was doing, moving money around and giving them what they wanted, that's what they wanted anyway. allegedly that's what they wanted, information about fraud and abuse in the social security system. So while you was moving around money and doing all your nefarious shit, how come that wasn't what you were giving them in the first place, motherfucker? No, you was giving them, you were going around giving them what they really wanted, our fucking information. That's what he was doing. And then you called everybody in to see, oh, you can come and check out what we doing now. Okay, this is some bullshit. Okay, so this is what's going on in our government. Okay, people are being rewarded for doing illegal shit with our information, in my opinion. Okay, now this is something else that I wanted to tell you. This is the same man, this man who is not qualified for the job. When that order came down from the judge that Elon Musk and DOGE will not are not allowed to have our private information, this is the man who threatened to close down Social Security. He will close it all down. This man. That's what he said when the ruling came down from the judge. This motherfucker. This is who said that. I will close the Social Security down. I will shutter it. Can you imagine? Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys the link to this. I, it may be strange, but it is true. Grand Rising, Black Diva. Figures mid-level. They can control him. It doesn't seem like they can. I mean, they could if they wanted to, but they're not controlling him. So this is the game. This is the game that they're playing. So now the heat got hot because old people started getting mad and they start fussing and cussing and showing up at town hall, Republican town halls. And then in Pennsylvania, somebody won, a Democrat won a seat that has been held by Republicans, I think they said since the 18 something. And then they have Elon Musk is paying off people to go sign petitions because he wants a MAGA guy to win their state Supreme Court position. But the Democrat is right on his ass, and they're afraid that even with all of this money, well, they thought he would win. And then when it started getting close, Elon Musk allegedly started paying people $100 per person to sign a petition. That you have to do it that way, so you can't be paying for the vote. You have to have them to sign a petition. And if you bring somebody else with you, if you refer somebody else, you get another $100 and they get $100 as well. So now it's gotten to that point in that race in Wisconsin. Now you have a race two races in Florida, a district that 45-47 won by 30 points, and the Democrat opponent is right on his ass. So they are nervous about those fights because all of these positions that have been read for decades, it appears that they are about to be flipped blue. So Trump had a nominee for, what was she? I forget her name. She's either a New York congresswoman or senator. And he had her slated to be on his administration. They were just about to do her confirmation, and he snatched back he snatched back of the office to give her the position, because that would mean her seat in New York would be vacant. She's a senator. Her seat in New York would be vacant, and they can't risk having with the margins so tight, they cannot risk having her lose her seat and that seat turn blue, because they're nervous now. So that's my whole point, that they think that they just gonna F over people. I don't know. And I don't know. Some of them still support him, but that's what's going on with that. Did you guys know that? So I just wanted to talk about that, since they have been talking about Social Security so much. And now this is I'm not going to play the confirmation hearing, but I mentioned Ron Wyden in that story. So this is what I want to show you about him questioning the nominee for the Social Security Commissioner, and he's gonna break some news. He presented some whistleblower information. He asked about. Hold on. He asked him about some whistleblower information. Come to find out, there's some whistleblower information that Ron Wyden asked the current guy who is up to be the Social Security Commissioner. So let's hear what the incoming, if he gets enough votes. Let's hear what he's been up to already. And there was a peculiar question, and this man says that he's a Doge guy. He supports Doge. He's not allegedly, he's not on their payroll, but he says that he is a Doge supporter. And I'll tell you, I like what they're doing. I like them, and he's all behind Doge. So let's hear what Wyden has to ask him.
Thank you. Senator Wyden.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My first question for the nominee is, in the last 2 months, DOGE has been rampaging through Social Security. And I need to know first if you're responsible for some of this current chaos. So my first question is, between the time you were nominated and today, were you involved in discussions about DOGE or any of the operations, personnel, or management decisions with those working at Social Security?
No, sir.
So that sounds like a reassuring response, but unfortunately, it's not true. Mr. Chairman, I have a statement from a senior official who worked at Social Security and recently left the agency. And the nominee told my staff, yours, and me in my office that the nominee wasn't involved with any agency operations, personnel, and management decisions. And the whistleblower statement says that the nominee insisted on personally approving several key DOGE hires at the agency, among other things, and getting frequent briefings. So, Mr. Chairman, the first thing I'd like to do is put into the record the statement from this very high-level official at Social Security, a whistleblower.
Without objection.
So, according to the whistleblower, you personally intervened to get key DOGE officials installed at the agency who have masterminded this shipwreck that we're dealing today. Did you talk to anyone at Social Security about these changes?
I have never talked to Mr. Dudek. I have talked to Mike Russo, and I've said that to your staff when they asked me. I know Mike Russo, he was the CIO of Shift 4, and he was the CIO at Oracle for Mark Hurd, and I know him for 20 years. I don't know him as a DOGE person. I know him as a CIO.
So with respect to anyone else, did you talk to any of these officials who were involved in operations? Because the whistleblower said you personally intervened to get DOGE officials installed. And I understand there's one person who got basically approved in the middle of the night as a result of your insistence. Are you saying that the whistleblower is not telling the truth to the Senate Finance Committee? Because there are a number of very influential officials who have indicated that they will support the position of the whistleblower.
I was not involved in onboarding anybody in the middle of the night.
Well, we've heard some.
Well, just because you personally did not onboard someone, I don't think that the commissioner of Social Security or any agency, when they are the head commissioner, which it seems like you are already making moves and calling shots, pretty much like Russell Vogt was doing, making moves and calling shots before his confirmation vote was even taken. He was the one who said that all federal funding must stop. And he hadn't even been voted on. And then the next day it would stop. So let's not act like we are not accustomed to these. They asked Kash Patel, who's over the FBI, had he been making moves and telling them things to do in the FBI prior to his confirmation. They asked him about that at his confirmation, and he said no. And once he got the position, they found out he was lying about it. He had been directing them who to fire and how many people to fire before he even went to his confirmation hearing. So I don't believe this man, is my point.
Some very disturbing comments with respect to some of the officials, and I think we've got to get to the bottom of it. Let me ask you about the role of ushering in key DOGE officials who've been working through agency databases and feasting on the personal information of the American people, their health records, their bank account data, their tax data. DOGE recklessness there has set off what could be the largest identity theft crisis in history. A federal judge ordered SSA to stop providing DOGE access. In her ruling, the judge said, and I quote here, "DOGE's bogus reasoning akin to a fishing expedition in search of a fraud epidemic based on little more than suspicion." So my question to you here is, if you're confirmed, will you lock DOGE out of Social Security databases and stop them from exposing millions of Americans who could be damaged?
Sir, I've spent my career protecting PII in the largest institutions. I think it's of the utmost importance for PII to be protected. And yes, I will ensure it's protected.
So will you lock DOGE out? It's a very specific yes or no question. Will you lock DOGE out of Social Security databases?
I'm going to do whatever is required to protect the information that is private information. So I don't know what lock DOGE out means, but there's way more than DOGE that can't have access to that information, sir.
I would like that in writing, that you will lock DOGE out of the Social Security databases. Will you furnish that in writing?
I don't know what lock DOGE out of the Social Security.
It's got a pretty simple concept. When you lock somebody out, you stop them.
There's lots of databases, but PII will not be exposed.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I would like you and I and the committee to follow up on what this whistleblower has told us, because your staff met with them, my staff met with them, I met with them, and I don't believe that this whistleblower would make this up. This whistleblower has said that this is a nominee who will be bad for the agency and has cited specifics. And this nominee says that the whistleblower is wrong. And I think this whistleblower throughout their career has been somebody who's told the truth, and I think we better get to the bottom of it. And they told your staff the same thing they told.
Okay, so I put the link to that in the chat. If you want to go check out the rest of it, but I just thought that hey, look who the people that they're bringing in. Now, let me see. What else I want? Hey, Barry Carey, thank you for being here. I see that you're going to be in the clouds. Oh, let's check this out. Let me. Hold on 1 second. They have to wake. They had to wake my husband up. They know when the alarms like go off. They are the real alarm. Can you imagine waking up to that every morning? Okay, so let me play this for you guys. It's quite interesting. Are you guys still here? Hey, Kind to Me and Black Diva 21, Grand Rising. Hit the like. If you learn something new, that is what my goals are for. My only goals are to share something that may have slipped by you that is a little obscure. We hear so much lying. So I think they're talking about the interview that DOGE. Now, this DOGE interview, they finally had all the little DOGE guys up there, and I wish Neil Cavuto would have asked him which one of the DOGE guys. They gave none of their names. I don't know. I don't. In the little clips that I saw, they didn't give any of their names, and it seems like they tried to change up their appearance from these initial pictures that were given out of them when they were Elon Musk said they were docs. But if they're working for a government agency, how can they be docs? You know, they used to go into these agencies and refuse to give their names and just looking all snooty down like, I don't have to give you my name. What are you talking about? Okay, so let's check this out. Oh, God.
I'm saying, what I'm saying.
They want to raise taxes.
I'm saying we should I will run on the fact that we should end some of the tax breaks for special interests. And I'm sorry that you're in favor of that. I think that's a mistake. I think it's amazing that you're more interested in basically cutting Social Security services to seniors than you are to looking at these services. Well, they're still fired 9.
You know who complains the loudest and with the most amount of fake righteous indignation? The fraudsters. It's a tell.
I think that most people, common sense wise, would say
we have the most debt that we've ever had. What's the answer?
We've accumulated most of that debt under Donald Trump.
It doesn't matter. That's not the.
Musk is
we're here where we are.
Contracts himself.
Where's the lady that's supposed to be in charge of DOGE?
She was on vacation, maybe.
Where was she at?
She wasn't there.
Yeah.
She wasn't. I haven't seen the interview yet. Does she come in later?
It looked like White Boy Fight Club to me.
So then you're not explaining this.
This is what Washington does.
Let's just give $1 billion
We'll just
and ask about the park.
That's right. Where was Amy? Yeah, you had DOGE there. Amy still wasn't there. Good question.
slowly under the
act
quicksand,
without thinking, and then go,
nothing ever
whoops,
happens.
sorry, I cut
And that's how you get a $40 trillion
Maybe you should actually think before you fire veterans. I don't know. Maybe that's a radical thing these days.
Hello, everybody. Guys, let's get right into this panel. Just check out how this panel tries to defend Elon Musk, and then look at this weird Elon Musk interview. These people are creepy. Check this out.
Revolution tonight. That's what Elon Musk is calling his oft legally challenged dismemberment of the federal bureaucracy. The billionaire Sancho Panza, Donald Trump's Don Quixote, just gave a new interview to Fox. In it, he's taking on all critics and accusing opponents of Doge's deep cost cutting of tilting at windmills.
Usually when they attack Doge, they never attack any of the specifics. So they'll say what we're doing is somehow unconstitutional or illegal or whatever. We're like, well, which line of the cost savings do you disagree with? And they can't point to any.
Yeah, he's exactly right. They can't point to any because you don't put any.
Spent plenty of time.
You don't put any on the website, and when you do put them on the website, when they're fact checked by the media, you turn around and take them off. This sitting up here as if they are putting something transparent up here, and like they are doing so much, and all of the top dollar amounts that they said that they were saving, they have to turn around and take them off. They put $8 billion for one thing, and it was 8 million. They
put a program on there talking about that they were saving so much money, and the program had already paid out all its funds 15 years prior to them even coming into Doge. So it's a whole lot of bullshit on there, and he's sitting up there acting like, oh, well, we put, and we ask people what. No, if you're asking people what they disagree with, it's more than just putting it on Doge. I could go on Doge and I can say I saved $13 billion by taking my dogs to a different groomer, but I would have to have some facts and receipts to back that up. These are the things that they never have. They just put something on there, and you're just supposed to believe it because they put it on there. Let's continue.
I'm on the naysayers saying that people who protest what he is doing doth protest too much for a very specific reason.
You know who complains the loudest? And with the most amount of fake righteous indignation? The fraudsters. It's a tell.
I think that most people, common sense wise, would say the fraud's got to end.
Yeah.
They're concerned about the 94-year-old mother who skips a check or somehow doesn't get what she's supposed to get.
Right. And what we're trying to say is actually that the 94-year-old grandmother is actually, as a result of Joe Doge's work, going to get her check. She's not going to be robbed by fraudsters like she's getting robbed today.
Roy, is Elon?
Yes, that makes sense. The guy that's calling Social Security a Ponzi scheme is going to make sure that grandma gets her checks. Are you effing kidding me? The Secretary of Commerce just came out and said people who are complaining about not getting their Social Security checks.
Now, isn't it ironic that he says the same thing that the Secretary of Commerce said? The people that are complaining about not getting their checks are the fraudsters. And there was a story that came out yesterday. They said that in the past few months, notice it's just been in the past few months. Now, it is said that Social Security has never missed a payment until Elon Musk and these muskrat came into the Social Security system. They said that several people have been missing their checks. But there also is a story out about allegedly people who are buying people's checks and Social Security numbers and they are getting them changing their direct deposits, and so they are stealing these people's checks, and all of this stuff is going on. But wait a minute, I thought it was about the dead people getting checks, but now it's something else. But notice how you'll notice when they say it started happening, the past couple of months. And who are really the Doge people? They're hackers. And they said that these people are selling people's social security checks on the dark web. See, look, we have somebody who pulled this check up now. It's for $1,800. It's for sale. Okay, so just in the past few months, this is just so ironic that Doge in 45, 47 just got inaugurated in the past few months as well. Let's continue.
Are likely fraudsters. Now look what Elon Musk is saying. That people who are complaining are likely fraudsters. And he's like angry. You can see him, like his face is twitching, making weird face gestures. He's freaking out. He knows he's hated. And I guarantee you, how convenient, they won't find any fraud, waste, and abuse in the tax system. I can guarantee you. Republicans out there, how do you not understand how you're getting effed? Let's see if they find any fraud, waste, and abuse and how the tax system is being abused. Let's see if they find anything there.
Saving grandma.
Yeah, I think he is. And I think Elon should go and have a town hall in some of those districts where grandma lives and explain it to grandma's face. I'm sure it'll go well.
Yeah, I think saying
Hello, I agree
that only fraudsters are mad when the 80,000 veterans who've been fired are mad, and the senior citizens who, for weeks thought they couldn't call anymore to get their benefits, and now they can call. It's a little unclear. So, or veterans like Carla Allen, who lives in Wyoming, has been a veteran serving, protecting other veterans from suicide. She's been doing this work. She just got fired. I really think the people who are angry about this are people who've served our country, who are protecting other people. And we should all be concerned about fraud, but to say that anybody who's upset about this is a fraudster when it's so many people, so many veterans and others who are being really hurt.
The other part of that story that wasn't reported is the $1 billion that was spent on a survey asking if people like parks or not. I mean, there's a major issue.
Okay, so now this is a Republican, a survey, $1 billion. So she is believing that there was actually $1 billion spent on a survey to see if people like the national parks. I'm pretty sure there has been absolutely no receipts. I'm pretty sure that this is just talk and everything that comes out of his mouth, she's taking it as I need to see receipts. That's all I'm saying. $1 billion for surveys. I don't believe it. I don't believe any of it. That's just me. Do you
in
guys
regards
believe
to
it?
overspending in our government, we have the most debt that we've ever had. What's the answer?
We've accumulated most of that debt under Donald Trump.
It doesn't matter. It's not that we're here where we are.
Yeah, actually, it does matter because you guys always want to talk about debt when it's talking about taking it from the regular people, from the working class people. You always want to talk about debt, but ain't nobody talking about the debt that Donald Trump has us in. This is Donald Trump's debt. And so you talking about park services, but you ain't talking about taxing the rich though, bitch. Let's continue.
Contracts himself, so give up one of them.
And we also got a lot of debt under George W.
Really
Bush.
The one where he rescued our astronauts, or a different one?
Different one. And he threw in the dolphins as well. Like I'm just saying.
And speaking of that, I played the video to you guys. Let me make sure my mic on. Speaking of that, I played the video to you guys where he said that Biden didn't want him to go rescue the astronauts because he didn't want somebody who was supporting Trump to get any light or any fanfare. Well, I don't believe that because SpaceX, his company Space, you know how much money SpaceX has gotten from the government? Over $20 billion. So he shouldn't have had to have any say so in you. You have already, and that was to shuttle the astronauts and equipment back and forth to the space station. So he act like he did something so out of the goodness of his heart. And look at me, I'm going to be selfless. You got $20 billion for your company, SpaceX, for that. That's what you were supposed to do. The just the arrogance of this welfare queen. And this bitch sitting, and look at this one sitting up here smiling, like, ooh, you got him. Oh, you got him. Oh, let's continue.
Republicans are so odd. Do they really think that Elon Musk put on this mech suit and flew up in space and saved them? Like, what do they think Elon Musk did to save them? He owns the company that has geniuses in there that figured out how to get the astronauts back.
And with our money, our money that he gets from all of these government contracts. Let's keep it a buck. I'm pretty sure wouldn't nobody be patting you on your back if let me make sure my mic on. Wouldn't nobody be patting you on your back if you paid your house note and all your bills on time, if the government was funding you all the money that you could do it with? Would somebody be patting you on your back for doing what you're supposed to do, what you're getting paid to do? No, they wouldn't. Let's continue. I have to give commentary, so I'm sorry.
He's not doing it. He's not sitting there with plans, programming, engineering, anything. Elon Musk got him back. So weird.
Don't buy another pair of glasses.
Okay, so I'm gonna drop this link in the chat. You guys have finished it. It was a good little back and forth with them, and obviously it just pissed me off hearing it again. Here you go. Okay. Okay, so let's check this out. Okay, this is I think that this is kind of interesting. Let me close this one. Hold on one second. I want to add something else. While she was speaking about the debt, let's check this out. Okay, one second. Let's check this out first. Since we were talking about the debt, and get some real understanding about how much Social Security and all of these things is really costing the country, as opposed to these tax cuts. Okay, here we go. Let me get right here. Here we are, right here. Okay.
The federal deficit was a problem, and that the cuts that are being made really wouldn't address.
Did you?
What?
There are no words. There are no words for that. I mean, and selling Teslas on the White House lawn, and threatening people that vandalize a Tesla dealership with 20 years in jail when you pardon people who vandalize the U.S. Capitol and beat up police officers. I mean, it's pretty selective justice in my view.
I wanted to ask you, you mentioned, Senator, that you thought the federal deficit was a problem and that the cuts that are being made really wouldn't address the problem. I'm perhaps opening up a can of worms, but what can be done to deal with the deficit if you believe it is a serious issue?
It is. And there are a couple of things. One is that a great deal of the deficit is being driven by healthcare costs, Medicare, Medicaid, federal healthcare programs. But let me back up for a minute. And this may surprise you. The federal budget that we all think of as the federal budget is what Congress appropriates every year for the Department of the Interior, the National Park Service, the Department of Agriculture, all of those things, is absolutely flat as a percentage of GDP for the past 50 years. 4% of GDP in 1962, 4% of GDP today. And here's the one that I think really will surprise you. Defense, which we also appropriate on an annual basis, was 9% of GDP in the early 60s. It's now less than 3%. So defense has actually declined by almost 2/3 as a percentage of our economy and of the federal budget. Non-defense discretionary spending of what we appropriate is flat. Okay, so where's the deficit coming from? Two places. The growth of mandatory spending, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and government pensions and VA costs. But the other is unfunded tax cuts. The biggest contributor to the deficit right now are the lingering results of the Bush tax cuts back in 2003, I think, and then the unfunded Trump tax cuts in 2017. The average GDP government expenditure over, 40, 50 years is about 20% of GDP. And revenues have sort of bounced around. The last balanced budget, ironically, was during the administration of Bill Clinton.
I remember
then
that.
We had those Bush tax cuts that killed the balanced budget because they weren't funded. It's one thing if you cut taxes, say, okay, we're going to cut taxes by $1 billion, but we're going to cut expenditures by $1 billion. But if you cut taxes by $1 billion and leave expenditures as they are, that means deficit. Right now, revenues are about 16% of GDP and expenses are 20, 21%. The difference is the deficit. So let me get back to how do you solve it. Healthcare is the biggest issue. We spend more than twice as much per capita for healthcare than anybody else in the world. And our results aren't all that good. They aren't better than anybody else in the world. And I believe that one of the things we need to do, and the government can do this, and I'm pressing on it all the time, is more prevention. For example, Medicare will pay for your broken hip, but they won't pay $10 for a bath mat for your shower or a grab bar, $50. And we've really got to get serious. The cheapest medical intervention is the one that doesn't have to take place. And that means free screenings and whole panoply. I'm working on a lot of falls legislation because falls are one of the biggest causes of healthcare costs, particularly among seniors, and one of the major causes of death. People break their hips and that's the beginning of the end. So healthcare is one of the big issues. The other is fund the damn tax cuts. If they want to cut taxes, then figure out a way to pay for it. It's too easy down here to say, I'm for the new grant for our airport, but I'm also for cutting your taxes. That's nice work if you can get it.
Just wanted you guys to see that they never are talking about the tax cut. That is a Republican, a Democrat, of course. I don't know if you guys remember. I'm sure you remember when that CEO. You know what happened to that CEO in New York City. Now it seems like. I want you to know to see if you know this. FBI becomes rent-a-cops for CEOs. Feds are watching your statistic posts, your sarcastic posts online as part of Trump's new war on terrorism. So the FBI is tasked with protecting CEOs because of what the fear that of what the people could be rising up, and we had to keep the status quo as it is. We can't let these common people think that they can push us around because we're not giving up this money. and everything's going to stay the way it is. So, America's top law enforcement agency is pimping itself out to corporate America to protect business executives from the American people, according to an FBI threat assessment marked law enforcement use only, and the report and reported here for the first time. Okay, the FBI assessment highlighted a threat to CEOs following the shooting of healthcare senior executive. Is dated February 19th and is a striking illustration of the new and growing domestic war on terrorism that we've been writing about. They are saying that this is a domestic war on terrorism. So we also know that 4547 said that people who, let me put it up, people who are vandalizing Elon Musk cars were also, let me put it up. I can't remember exactly what he said. I think he said that, I know he said that he wished they could go to prison. Okay. I look forward to watching the sick terrorist thugs get 20 years in jail, 20-year jail sentence for what they are doing to Elon Musk and Tesla. Perhaps they could serve them in the prisons of El Salvador, which have become so recently famous for such lovely conditions. So now they have they're trying to say because the CEOs are scared, they're going to try to sue them by making the FBI available to them, and the threat of charging anybody with domestic terrorism. Now, all of the other domestic terrorism that they said, like the white supremacists, they were domestic terrorists. They never put them on the terror watch list. How ironic. All of the other shit that goes on, all of the actual terrorist attack, they don't take a lot of this stuff serious. But mess with a CEO and they gonna they gonna rent the whole FBI out and threaten the whole population of America about a goddamn CEO. They don't care about us. I have come to the conclusion that we are on our own. Okay. The FBI assessment highlighted the threat to CEOs following the shooting of healthcare executive. Is dated February 19th, and it is a striking illustration of the new and growing domestic war on terror that I've been writing about. Okay. So they have, if you want, let me see if I can. You can download the assessment right here. The assessment and statements from top Trump officials seek to label growing outrage against corporations as terrorism. The Trump administration is particularly spun up about the spate of arson and vandalism attacks against Tesla automobiles and facilities since its CEO became, what is that? Is that? I don't know. I don't know. Philanthropy. I don't know. I think it's something, a spin on I don't know what that word is. To the world's most powerful man. Okay, the FBI document was obtained under the Freedom of Information Act by the Transparency nonprofit property of the people. If the government truly cares about preventing death and suffering, perhaps tax dollars should be spent on healthcare for the people instead of mass surveillance and security for wealthy executive Dr. Director Ryan Shapiro told me. Part of the FBI campaigns involves monitoring social media posts supposedly threatening corporate executive. The assessment claims that there has been a spike of such threats across multiple industries since Luigi Mangione, alleged murderer of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, in December. That month, I reported it on a separate NYPD threat report, warning that online reactions to the Thompson murder suggest that extremists may view Mangione as an example to follow. The new FBI assessment follows the same line of thought, saying that the rhetoric has displayed an elevated threat of violence to executives and highlighted a need for increased situational awareness among private sector partners. Social media threats have risen across all sectors and industries, it added. Okay. Oh, Lord, this idiot. FBI Director Kash Patel said during his swearing in that the Bureau is going to carry out the world's largest manhunts against anyone that wishes to do harm to our way of life. As I previously reported, on Monday, Patel announced a crackdown on vandalism directed at Tesla, calling the acts domestic terrorism. Of course he did. Of course he did. Pam Bundy, who first called vandalism on Tesla domestic terrorism? Elon Musk did. Then Donald Trump did. Then Pam Bondi did. Now Kash Patel is. We are living in a police state, it seems, or they're trying to make us live in a police state. We see the direction of all of this because all of this is bullshit. It's vandalism. He has insurance for it. That's what insurance is for, period, point blank. If you're going to arrest somebody for vandalism, that's what it is. It's vandalism. Okay. To crack down on vandalism directed at Tesla. Now you want to call vandalism domestic terrorism. It's vandalism. Despite the new counter-terrorism obsession, the FBI itself says that anti-corporate rhetoric rarely raised to the level of illegality, illegalness. Okay, how you say that word? Illegality. How you say that word, man? Forget it. Lone actors affiliated with specific ideological groups are using social media to intimidate high-profile employees, it says. While these threats often fall short of federal prosecution, they create fear and highlight the need for heightened vigilance against the potential copycat attacks. The report goes on to list a half a dozen examples of alleged threats to CEOs, all take the form of online posts. Pretty clear signs of how closely law enforcement is keeping tabs on social media. Okay, so they have nothing. All of this is behind a post. Here's one post. They're talking about Edison. For example, it is not exactly the makings of an anti-CEO program, but the FBI intelligence, it would seem, is not big on humor. This issues I've often seen when law enforcement relies on automated tools to identify threats based simply on keyword searches. It wasn't the only joke that sailed over the Bureau's head. Another example from the FBI document. Okay. On December 24th, a social media user posts threatened healthcare CEOs and referenced Thompson's homicide. The post stated, "Copycat killers identified and named the CEO of multiple major U.S. healthcare companies." Okay, the poster in this case is obviously saying the healthcare CEOs, presumably health insurance company, are the copycat killers because of all the Americans who die from lack of coverage. Again, it's as if the FBI didn't bother to think through what it was reading, and it just saw the words copycat killers and it jumped to conclusion. Brilliant detective work from our premier law enforcement agency. You know, they got AI, just like they got AI uh, uh, troving through the Pentagon to eliminate anything that could be associated with DEI based on buzzwords and stuff. Okay, the next example is more disturbing and gives a sense of how the FBI is not just spying on our posts, but acting on what they collect. The laid off employees of a digital music distribution service posted images and messages of their former company CEO, including altered images and references to the CEO Thompson's homicide. The description is so vague, it's impossible to tell if the posters were clowning the CEO or making real threats. Even though the post did not meet federal prosecution criteria, the FBI didn't stop there, kicking the matter to local law enforcement for further investigation. Okay, so shit, I'm almost done with it now. What is especially creepy about the conflating of anti-corporate sentiment with the terrorism is that it opens the doors to spying on the American people. Counterterrorism is literally the business of pre-crime in which the law enforcement and its intelligence arm work to seek to prevent hypothetical crimes of the future, even when there is no information exists to suggest any preparation. This is the post 9/11 standard that has become the norm when it comes to well-resourced terrorist organizations like Al Qaeda, ISIS. But it should have no place against random shit posters online. He said shit poster. If it sounds like okay, that's just his opinion. Even the military is getting in on the frenzy, with the Army recently warning Tesla drivers in its ranks to better protect themselves, telling a bunch of trained killers to keep their heads on a swivel for lurking Tesla extremists. Seems like a recipe for a recipe for disaster. Honk if you hate Tesla. Just kidding. Wouldn't want to get put on that watch list. Okay, so there you have it. It wasn't as good as I thought it was. I thought he was going to give me some details. Give me some details. Let me see if anybody is still here. Hey, Nappy Child, Grand Rising. Hey, Claire Monet. Hey, Random. Grand Rising, Big Set. Peace and multiple blessings to you. You guys got to check out the earlier part. I think the best part was the earlier part. Let me see what this. Oh, FEMA. Y'all hear that they are talking about ending. Oh no, this is not FEMA. FEMA is a video. They're talking about and I thought that they reinstated USAID, but they're still talking about stopping childhood vaccinations for a whole lot of poor countries. Okay, so U.S. to end funding for childhood vaccines in poorest country, documents shows. Now, yeah, it's through the USAID. They have been told that they must refire them, get their building back together, and all of that. Remember, Elon Musk wrote a post that USAID is in the wood chipper, and they actually had the people pulling the metal letters off of the building. So I don't know how long it's going to be back up, but this is Washington and Paris. President Donald Trump administration plans to end U.S. funding for Gavi, an organization that helps buy vaccines for children in poor countries, and it will scale back efforts to combat malaria among thousands of cuts revealed in a document prepared by the U.S. Agency for International Development. The administration will continue to fund some grants that pay for drugs that treat HIV and tuberculosis and provide food aid to nations where civil wars and natural disasters are occurring, according to the document, which was first reported by the New York Times. The documents reviewed by Rutgers on Wednesday lists international aid programs that will be dismantled as well as those that will be reinstated. Washington has drastically scaled back foreign aid since Trump took office, with around 80% of contracts abruptly cut to align with the new administration's America First policy. And the America First policy, and meanwhile they're going in and cutting over 100,000 Americans' jobs. So where is America coming first at? Is America wealthy first? That's what it is. Okay, excuse me. Let me finish this. Okay. Sowing chaos, confusion, and suffering worldwide. The 128-page document lists 898 programs that will remain active, totaling 78 billion in spending, much of which it says has already been dispersed. In total, 5,341 awards will be terminated, representing just under 76 billion, the document says. The government has obliged or made legal commitment to spend around 48 billion of that total. Okay, so now they're saying right here, Nigeria has, let me see. I didn't see this video. That Nigeria is Africa face crisis as U.S. frees aid. Let's see what they're talking about on here.
Development continues. Nigeria is trying. Well, shifting gears now, the fallout from President Donald Trump's move to put a funding freeze on the U.S. Agency for International Development continues. Nigeria is trying to cushion the blow. Lawmakers today approved an additional $200 million for the health sector as part of its 2025 spending plan. The most populous country in Africa was among the top 10 recipients of aid from the U.S. Well, France 24's Mark Perelman has been speaking to Winnie Banyima, the Executive Director of UN AIDS, about the wider impact of the shutdown of USAID.
We, UNAIDS, have estimated, having looked at the impacts on the ground and looking at the figures that
We're done.
What about these?
Looks
Hold
right.
on 1 second.
monitor, that if the support the United States government has been putting in is not replaced, we already have 630,000 deaths last year, but we could have 6.3 million more deaths in the next 5 years. There are 20 million people who are alive today because they are swallowing some tablets every day and coming directly from funding of the United States government. If we do not quickly find a way to fill this gap, they could die.
So, yeah, that's a lot of people. The U.S. government did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Gavi said the U.S. supports for its operation was vital. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so I'm back. I apologize. Okay. Will U.S. support? Okay, so that's that story. So they are still cutting aid. They haven't cut it all, but they cut a lot. Okay, so you guys still here? Random's here. Um, yeah. So Mux needs to check the fuck up along with NVM. Uh, Let me go back to my cloud. Who is NVM? NVM. I don't even know who that is. I apologize. I don't know who that is. Let me see what else, if I have anything else good up here. JD Vance wife was supposed to go to Greenland, and then Trump announced that JD Vance would probably be meeting her there, and then all of a sudden the 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 the, the trip was canceled because the actual travel agency that set up the trip canceled all the reservations for the trip after they heard JD Vance was coming. And then they said that they had Americans going damn near door to door asking people who would like her to come visit them at their homes. And it was one store allegedly she was supposed to visit, but then that lady canceled too, and said that she couldn't come to the store. So after they said that Vance was coming, they was just like, no, we don't want to deal with them because, you know, as far as Vance is, I guess they were gonna try to show the wife some hospitality, but they was like, no, because they gonna think that we really give a fuck about them and the way they've been talking about us. Nah, we don't even want them here, So the trip is off. They said they had to put her SUV back in a military plane. I'm pretty sure it was an armored SUV that they had already flown out there for her trip. So did you guys hear about that? So that was I found that was mm, par for the course. Let me see what else. Uh, we saw James getting in the Miss O's ass yesterday. I don't think I have much else. Canada is saying they are gonna go on their own. They're not gonna be dependent on the U.S. for much or nothing. So let me see. Let me see what he had to say. Because 4547 has announced 25% tariff on all cars not made in the USA, and he's also begged American car makers to not raise their prices, as if they can just suck up the loss. Uh, A tariff is a tariff. Find out what the tariff is. Okay, let's hear what the Canadian Prime Minister has to say. This is my last little video.
Trump has just announced a sweeping new tariff on cars.
Oh, hold on. My volume is, my speed is too fast.
This is very modest. And what we're going to be doing is a 25% tariff on all cars that are not made in the United States. If they're made in the United States, there's absolutely no tariff. Business is coming back to the United States so that they don't have to pay tariffs.
President Trump announced 25% tariffs against our auto industry. And this is a direct attack, to be clear, a direct attack on the very workers that I stood in front of, uniform workers I stood in front of this morning at the Ambassador Bridge, a bridge that is a symbol and a reality up until now of the tight ties between our two countries, ties of kinship, ties of commerce, ties that are in the process of being broken. We will defend our workers. We will defend our companies. We will defend our country, and we will defend it together. This will hurt us, but through this period, by being together, we will emerge stronger. I think what's happened, this was part of our discussion, over the course of the last several months, Canadians as a whole across this country, have gotten over the shock of the betrayal and are learning lessons. We have to look out for ourselves, and we have to look out for each other. It would be appropriate that the President and I speak, given the action that he's taken. I'm sure that will happen soon. I'm not going to give you a precise timing on that. In terms of options, which was the second part of Ms. Martin's question, even during a caretaker period of government, we have anticipated this possibility. We have put in place the mechanisms so that if it is appropriate for retaliatory tariffs, and there's many considerations to be taken in those regards, and I want to have the meeting of our cabinet, Canada-U.S. cabinet, other considerations. We need to see the details of the executive order.
Buyer beware, your next car could cost more money.
This is very modest. And what we're going to be doing is a 25% tariff on all cars that are not made in the United States. If they're made in the United States, there's absolutely no tariff. Business is coming back to the United States so that they don't have to pay tariffs.
A very modest 25% tariff, the president says. My political sources are here, Paul Begala and Scott Jennings, along with my deeply sourced White House insiders, Zolan Cano-Youngs from the New York Times and
Not Scott Jennings. I can't take Scott Jennings. It is so hard to take Scott Jennings anywhere. I will drop the link. I just wanted you to hear what Canada had to say about the tariffs. How you say you're going to take over people's land and think they're going to welcome you with open arms. Exactly. Big Set. Okay. Now that story was funny. Okay, so that's all that I have. I think I may want to. Let me see if I want to share. This dude, he was going off. I thought he was quite funny about several different things. Oh, he was on the warpath, and he was supposed to be on vacation, and he was just going live after live after live, just railing. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, FEMA. Let's talk about FEMA. Now, you know that they're talking about getting rid of FEMA. 4547 has been talking about it for months, all the way since before he went to visit California, and he said that maybe California was going to have to give up some policy agreements. He wanted California to say that they would ask people, are they United States citizens, to vote. So he was trying to strong arm him into some immigration policy, and trying to say that, hey, well, maybe we won't give you any funding if you don't do that. He's such trash. Okay, let's check this out. Now, okay, so you're gonna have a catastrophe, fire, hurricane, tornado, flood, whatever, and already you have to have the states educate your kids now. There's no I don't know how much federal funding. I'm thinking not much, but they pretend like they're going to give some federal funding to educate the kids, but that federal funding will also be going to rich people families as well, who could pay for their children to go. And we know they're going to be making money off of charter schools and all of this stuff. We already know what it is. So Also, charter schools and private schools don't have to take special needs students. And that's where a bulk of the money goes to. More money per student goes to special needs students. So what type of education are the states going to be able to give these special needs students? Then they're going to have to pay for disaster relief. Do you think a state, how much disaster relief is a poor state is going to be able to give their residents? How many people are going to die because there's not going to be any help coming for them? I'm just curious. Hey, the Bushes. So let me share this with you guys. Yeah, this is the last thing that I want to talk about.
These days is that literally any one of the things I talk about on this show can and should be 24 hours of perpetual outrage in mainstream media if mainstream media was good at their job, right? Like any one of these things is a scandal that could tank any other administration. But because Trump is flooding the zone, because he's doing the Steve Bannon strategy of do 100 things a day and they can't keep up, like nobody's even going to fucking talk about this one. Guys, it's actually happening. They are trying to completely abolish FEMA. Look at this from Semaphore. DHS Secretary Noam says we'll move to eliminate FEMA, a long-time Trump target. U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem told a cabinet meeting Monday that the department would move to eliminate the government's disaster relief agency days after President Donald Trump signed an executive order directing state and local governments to play a more active and significant role in responding to catastrophes. So let me pause here to point out to you guys. The reason why we have FEMA is because state governments and local governments do not have the capacity or the funding to respond to a hurricane that wipes out, an entire fucking city and levels it to the ground. They can't do it on their own. They don't have the resources. They don't have their own sovereign state currency that they control, right? They need to actually fund everything they do at the state level through taxes. That's what they need to do that. The federal government does not need to do that. They can run an annual deficit. We have a sovereign currency. That's the world reserve currency. The US dollar is. If you need to deficit spend to, clean up after a disaster and help people survive, that's perfectly fine. In fact, that's good economics. That's Keynesianism 101. But they don't believe in Keynesian economics. They believe in Austrian economics. And they're like, fuck, you're on your own, dog. And by the way, they know that. They say this to the state and local governments, knowing they're incapable of responding to a massive catastrophe, knowing they don't have the resources to do it. So in other words, this is a giant fuck you. That's what it is. Noam, whose department oversees the Federal Emergency Management Agency, has previously vowed to get rid of FEMA the way it exists today. Now notice they moved the goalposts. It was that, and then it became, let's just abolish it. Trump has said he would close the agency entirely, but that would require an act of Congress. But here's the thing. The same thing applies to the Department of Education. You can't legally close it on your own, but they're doing it. You can't cut 50% of the workforce at the Social Security Administration on a whim, but they're doing it because nobody's fucking stopping them. Even when the courts say you can't do that, they go, thanks, we're going to continue with that. The agency has long enjoyed bipartisan support. However, FEMA can't go away, Louisiana Republican Senator John Kennedy told reporters in January, citing its primary role in protecting people and property. I love how now they're so fucking extreme. Other Republican politicians are like, what? What are we doing? Look, I was all on board with a 30%, 40% cut, maybe 50% cut done by Elon Musk illegally, but eliminating it? Really? By the way, the main reason why a Republican would say this is because very similar to Social Security. If you abolish FEMA and there's a disaster and the federal government's nowhere to be fucking found, that was like that tanked George W. Bush's approval rating after Katrina when he fucking botched that. These Republican senators know even my seat isn't safe in fucking Louisiana. Because if the federal government's not there to help people after a disaster, they're just going to kick the bums out and they'll vote a Democrat in. The remarks came after FEMA imposed a hiring freeze last week. This is just the beginning. The administration plans to begin a full-scale review of the agency's practices next month. So here's the thing, guys. The reason why this is such a big deal.
Okay. I put the link in. Who is doing this? Who's over this? Department of Homeland Security person. Okay, because we don't have money. We do not have money to help Americans in disasters. But this is what's her name? Gnome. We don't have money for that. Because our president have to spend millions to go play golf, every week of his presidency. Hey, Renee. And look at all of these people. Look at all of these people. Do you see all of these people in these suits? Who are all these people in these suits? And where are we? The person who is about to close FEMA thought that it would be a good thing. Let me make sure my mic is on. She thought it would be a good thing to go. She loves to dress up for wherever she's going. She's a cowboy one day, a ballerina the next day. I guess now she's an ICE agent today. So she thought that it would be a good thing to go to the El Salvador prison where they have people who are locked up who had they don't even know that they are even they do know that a lot of them are not gang members. And at what point do you try to correct your mistake? At no point, because 4547 was taught by Ray Combe. Never admit you made a mistake. So here she is, a whole photo out in misery. And hey, we're at Disneyland. Look at all these people in these cages. This is a lot. Oh, she want to go in the hole too. Bad bitch. All of these people. How much did this trip cost? I want to see the humiliation with my own eyes. Well, I wonder, do you think she's there to go through the prisoners that America just loaded up in this thing to make sure that they don't have people who are not, in fact, gang members there? Do you think that she's there for that? Maybe she's there for that. Maybe she heard that there was some people who are not gang members, and all of these people in these black suits are there to interview these people, and if there are some people who are not gang members, they're going to get them out of here. That's what this trip. What do you think this trip? No, it's just a chance to get a photo. That's all it is. It's a photo shoot. Got enough people there?
Walk fast, walk backwards. Let's go. Press. We gotta go back.
Okay. Bullshit. I'm just. I just wonder how much did that dumb shit cost. That's all I got. She trying to find a husband. Hey, Lue. Greetings to you as well. Yeah, that's all I got. It's just a lot going on. A lot of bullshit going on, child. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate your support. I'll see you guys next week, and we'll do this all over again. It'll be a whole another world of shit going on next week. That's exactly what they do. They flood the zone, and while you looking at what the mainstream media is playing on a loop all day, every day, all day, every day. We're on day 4 talking about did they or did they not give away secrets when they were on that app detailing what time these different aircraft, not aircraft carriers, these different planes were going to do that military strike, while we supposed to be playing word salad and what was it or wasn't it? No, day 4 of this, they're not going to apologize, and the Republicans are not going to hold them responsible. And I don't know what the fuck the Democrats are going to do, because they don't have enough votes to do anything anyway. And it's always 10 or so of them that are voting with the Republicans. So this is the world we're living in. This is the world we're living in. When people, unqualified people, can do all of these crazy things because they are sycophants to another unqualified person. It's just a mess. So I hope you guys be blessed and aware all. Yes, be blessed and aware. So don't forget. A lot of the stuff that they putting out front is because they want to sneak and do the stuff that they putting through in the back, like that. Yeah, so it's a lot. All right. I thank you guys for being here. Yeah, I just don't have too much to give to it today. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I may see you on the YouTube streets. All right. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.